Your Excellencies, Chairman of the Committee of Environmental Protection of the Republic of Tajikistan, Governor of the Gorno-Badakhshan region in Tajikistan, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for inviting me to speak at this important event at the UN Climate Change Conference COP26. It's a privilege to be virtually present with you in Glasgow. I would like to focus in these introductory remarks on two topics. First, on the need for an integrated approach to resilient urban development, and second, the importance of long-term innovative partnerships to develop such approaches. Climate change has serious consequences for people and the environment. It particularly affects the poorest segments of the world's population. Climate change is therefore one of the priorities of the Swiss International Cooperation Strategy for the period 2021 to 2024. In its international cooperation activities, Switzerland systematically takes into account climate-related risks as well as mitigation and adaptation measures in the design and monitoring of its activities. Within its economic development cooperation, Switzerland promotes performance, competitiveness and resilience of its partner countries while creating employment and income perspectives for local populations. In doing so, we support reliable economic framework conditions for equal access to markets and opportunities for people and companies. This also includes the promotion of integrated and resilient urban development. Why this focus on urban areas? Because in the coming decades, population growth will primarily take place in cities and towns. These urban areas are often considered to be hubs for innovation, job creation, and economic growth. At the same time, cities are exceptionally affected by complex and multi-sectoral challenges, including the impacts of climate change, notably in high mountain settlements. Switzerland therefore focuses on improving the resilience of cities towards natural disasters and on promoting sustainable urban development for climate-friendly economic growth. In this context, I would like to highlight what Switzerland is doing in Tajikistan to leverage the development potential of cities and towns in sustainable and climate-friendly manner. Climate change mitigation and support for communities and government institutions to adapt to the impacts of climate change are some of the main areas of collaboration in the long-standing partnership between Switzerland and Tajikistan. Switzerland and Tajikistan are both mountainous countries. People living in mountain areas are especially vulnerable to the impacts of climate change and face multiple hazards. In a warming world with melting glaciers, these disasters are increasingly frequent and their impacts more devastating. In Switzerland, for many years, there has been an emphasis on assessing and understanding risks and to integrate them into urban planning. At the national and city government levels, experts, citizens and the municipalities work together to assess and understand risks. The aim is that policies in urban planning are risk-informed and that infrastructure investments are made in a resilient manner. The Swiss government supports countries such as Tajikistan to implement these practices and to plan for future generations. The Chorok Urban Resilience Program is a good example of this support. This partnership between the government of Tajikistan and the Swiss State Secretariat for Economic Affairs SECO links planning and investments by the Tajik government with investments and initiatives by the community, the private sector and international partners under a resilient planning framework. The program supports the national and municipal governments in becoming resilient vis-à-vis shocks and stresses, in providing reliable basic public services and in assuring that infrastructure investments are risk-informed and coordinated. It does so by building the systems, the capacity and the infrastructure to improve the built environment and as a result, the quality of life for citizens. Technical know-how from Swiss experts, global best practice such as UN Habitat recommendations for resilient town planning, and local knowledge are combined to create innovative solutions. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, initiatives like the Chorok Urban Resilience Program build upon long-term partnerships like the deep engagement of Switzerland with the government of Tajikistan over the last 30 years. Such partnerships are vital to identify and develop solutions that are grounded in community needs to promote resilience, reliable infrastructure services, and hazard mitigation. Long-term innovative partnerships are, in our experience, a key driver to realize development impact. We are convinced that this approach will become even more crucial as the world continues to face interconnected challenges in public health with the COVID-19 pandemic and with climate change, impacting the lives and livelihoods of people across the globe. I would like to thank the government of Tajikistan, the Aga Khan Development Network, and the many other partners who have joined us in this important initiative. Together we strive to make a difference, building on innovative and long-term partnership to increase resilience of vulnerable communities towards the impacts of climate change. Thank you for your attention.